welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by thinking to ourselves to musubi or not to musubi.
And the answer is to musubi, of course.
To musubi, always, right?
So I don't know if everyone knows, but most of our stuff is made in-house. So the chicken is cut, breaded, panko, the sausage.
Filipino
not
house
not that homemade.
That's the joke I've been talking about all the time. You know, we have the freshest chicken that we serve because I buy it every weekend after the cockfight. Oh, that's a joke.
You know, something my parents always taught me, and it's the phrase, if you don't ask, you don't get.
No, that was for me.
No, my mom said it. Whatever. Okay.
Because she heard
One
it from
or
me.
both of my parents.
I hope that anytime I go on a vacation and I'm missing home, I can find an L&L anywhere in the world.
That's our
Look
goal.
at our website, HawaiianBBQ.com.
There you go. Is there
HawaiianBBQ.com.
Velina Mai Kako, welcome to Keep It Aloha, a podcast that keeps it aloha by thinking to ourselves to musubi or not to musubi. I'm your host Kamaka, and that is the question. Before we introduce our guest today, I also want to remind you to check out our Patreon at patreon.com/kamakadias if you want to support us for as little as $3 a month. You can get exclusive behind-the-scenes access and even listen to special uncut episode days before it is even released to the public. If supporting us with money is not for you, but you still love this podcast, please consider leaving us a review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. I read every single review because I appreciate it so much. And to prove it, I want to share these reviews. Former Nobody says, love it. Love the guests and the conversations. It connects me to home since I've been living away for years. And Leilani0626 says, a new favorite. My husband and I love listening to this show. Extremely thoughtful, insightful, and informative. Mahalo for the awesome reviews. You guys don't know how much these things mean to me. I appreciate it so much. All right, before I get too emotional, let's introduce our guest. It's going to be an amazing episode. Our guests today are a father and daughter entrepreneur duo from the island of Oʻahu. This husband and father of two had success in the real estate industry before co-founding the popular L&L restaurant, which now has over 220 restaurants across the country and in Japan. He is also a very great storyteller from what I hear. His daughter, who took over as CEO and vice chair, is a business leader and proud graduate of USC. This mother of one worked for General Electric for more than 8 years, serving within the company's finance management program, and was eventually promoted to a senior finance manager position, where she oversaw a portfolio of assets with annual revenue in excess of $750 million. Together, they are continuing the legacy of the plate lunch and not stopping anytime soon. Their names are Eddie Flores Jr. and Elisia Flores. Aloha, Eddie and Elisia. Welcome to the podcast here at Ideate Studios. How are you both doing?
We're doing good. Aloha to
doing
you.
Good. And the answer is to musubi, of course.
To musubi. Always, right? And we're filming this a couple days before a very special holiday, right?
Yes. National Spam Musubi Day.
Which was created by...
Was created by us.
Created by her, not me.
Oh, really?
Created by L&L 3 years ago. We were excited to find out that actually the number one selling item from all of our stores is the Spam Musubi. So when we found that out, we really wanted to celebrate that because like what other big chain in the world has Spam Musubi, selling so many Spam Musubi.
Definitely.
So we came up with this idea to, just like National Ice Cream Day, National French Fry Day, to have National Spam Musubi Day. And we're super excited. This is our third year. We give away free Spam Musubi on that day. We chose August 8th, 808, to represent Hawaii. And we're just super stoked. And every year it gets bigger and bigger. And we're always happy to celebrate. So thank you for letting us get the message
Of course.
out.
8's my favorite number. So that's why I wanted you to
He's
on.
super Chinese. 8's his favorite number
Chinese,
too.
8 is luckier.
Oh, yeah. They got
prosperous.
that 8 Fat 8 restaurant, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Supposed to be lucky, yeah. Awesome. So we have a lot to get into, and I like to start at the beginning, really getting to know our guests. So we'll start with the elder of the family, but you still look super young. So
I am
say
young.
that as a sign of respect.
I was going to dye my hair before I come, but I didn't have a
looking
chance
good,
to.
Eddie. Looking good. So I got to know, where are you from, where you grad, and what was it like growing up?
Well, actually, my mom, let me start with my mom. My mom's actually born in Hawaii, but she went back to China when she was really young. And my father He was born in the Philippines. He was a musician, like the Society of Seven, So he met my mom in Macau, and they got married. And I was born in Hong Kong. And we came back to Hawaii in 1963 when I was 16 years old.
Wow.
And when my parents came, my father couldn't find a job as a musician. You know how difficult it is for a musician to find a job, especially over 50 years old. And he sent me to live with my relatives in San Francisco. So I went to high school in San Francisco. But as soon as I graduated from high school, I came back to Hawaii and attended the University of Hawaii. So very proud of that, to be a graduate of UH.
Nice. And what was your childhood like?
The childhood was good. I was kind of a rascal little boy running around because being brought up in Hong Kong, I'm not really Chinese. I'm Filipino Chinese, and you know how it goes, right? So we have we're kind of like gangsters up there when we were kids. We used to have to fend for ourselves, walk around with sticks and fight our way through. So that was fun. We have a lot of fun.
Wow. So you came back over here, you went to the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and then what did you do after that?
Well, after I graduated from UH, I was very lucky. Bank of Hawaii employed me into the management training program, and that's one of the top training program. And the only reason they hired me is because they didn't look at my transcript. Because I know the people with the highest grade point average, the brightest guy, and I only got 2.6, but I can talk. That's how I can tell you. I can talk good. And they decided to hire me. So I worked there for two and a half years, I think, with Bank of Hawaii. Very thankful for the training I got from Bank of Hawaii. But in my mind, I always wanted to be a millionaire from day one when I was young, because we brought up poor in Kali Palama. And I said, I'm going to be a rich man by the time I'm 35 years old. So I quit the bank and went into a real estate business. When I was only 24 years old, started a real estate company, hired 16 people, my brother, my sister, everyone I know.
So your whole family.
I don't pay them. Real estate, you don't pay them. So they just work for your salesman. So 1974, I started my own real estate business and called Sun Pacific Realty.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so at what age did you make your first million?
Well, it's hard to say, but maybe 26, 27 when I started to invest in real estate. I learned to invest in real estate. Actually, my specialty is not really real estate because we went through a recession. And at that time, I decided, I go into business, buying and selling business. And that's, we call it business opportunities. So I was one of the number one in Hawaii at that time. So I was doing very well. Wow. Talk about real estate. People didn't realize that, I actually bought my first condo in Waikiki in 1974, 1975 for $16,000. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Because at that time the condo was selling for $16,000. And I bought it and I sold it 6 months later and make $2,000. That was a lot of money. And it was more money than I made at the bank. And I said, well, why am I working in the bank? 1 year I make about, 3,000-4,000. Here I am. I make that just flip. One building, one condo. It's a co-op, and so I decided, hey, real estate is really my game. So I went to real estate.
Wow, you really just had that entrepreneurial mindset from a really early age, huh?
Oh, from day one. I always like to make money. I can tell you a lot of stories.
But do you like to spend money?
Not really. I was very tight.
I guess that's how you keep all your money, right?
I think that's from my Chinese.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it. I was trying to get you to say it.
Okay. Very tight, but I was very generous. Tight, but very generous to the family.
Nice.
And I can tell you more stories, what I did to my family.
Okay.
I've been helping every one of them all through their lives. And, the community too, it goes back. I helped the community, at Shiloh, I gave over $2.5 million for scholarship.
That's amazing.
But he truly was an entrepreneur ever from the start. And he has all these crazy stories of how he used to try to make money, including, I think, some of his jobs was like catching rats around UH. And and turning them in for money. And then, but even when he was in Hong Kong, he would sell newspapers. He was a door-to-door salesperson when he first moved to America, even though he couldn't speak English.
That was really funny.
Sign language?
Because
How did you
when
do
I
that?
was in San Francisco, I could barely speak English at that time. And I look at the paper, and the paying job was magazine salesman. They hire anyone, right? So I went training for one day, and I was selling magazines door to door in San Francisco right after school. I finished my school about 3:00, and I took the bus to a certain area, and they would start selling the magazine. And the fact is, they taught me, knock the door, ring the bell, and ask for the lady of the house. I have no idea what it means.
The lady of the
Lady
house,
of
that's
the
what they
house,
call
wife,
it?
I guess, lady of the house, And I guess you can't do it nowadays with door-to-door sales. But back in the old days, I was a little kid, was freezing my butt, in San Francisco at nighttime and try to sell a magazine. I got fired. I didn't make a sale. But I was happy. I got paid 1 week.
Yeah, it led to bigger and better things.
And funny thing, they didn't pay me. I didn't get a check. I actually have to call and say,
So
hey,
they still owe you a check to
no,
this day.
they pay me at the end because I called them up and said, look, I didn't get paid. I worked 1 week. I didn't make one sale, but I should get paid. And they pay me. And that was good.
Awesome. So when did you decide to start a family and birth this one?
Well, I didn't get married until I was 36 years old. It's kind of late. I was doing pretty well. And I was joking around about my mom. Should I tell that story about
No.
No, better.
Oh, please.
How I met her, I was joking around with
Maybe
her.
after the podcast you can tell it.
I always joke around. People ask me how did we meet. I was just joking around, just a joke.
He's telling it anyway.
You want
Yes,
to
I love
hear the
it.
joke? I'll tell you. People ask, hey, how did you meet your wife? I said, well, I was doing very well at that time, and I was driving a Mercedes, and I have a Rolex, gold Rolex, 2-carat diamond ring, and a gold chain. Like Filipino, unbutton our shirt. Look really macho. And my
Yeah.
wife saw me. She hang on to my Mercedes. She won't let go. I'm just joking, honey. I'm sorry. Just a joke. Don't get mad at me. That's a joke, okay?
These days it's the lifted Yoda and the gold chain that would really get the ladies.
Yeah. She just laughed when I tell the story. She said, nah, that's not the true story. The
Yeah.
true story is I was selling a Chez Michel restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember Chez
No.
Michel. Michel?
Michelle is at the
restaurant
Colony Surf.
At,
Oh, okay. I know
Colony
a Michelle,
Yeah.
but probably not.
Okay. Chez Michel was owned by the same guy, the French guy that came to Hawaii in 1940 and introduced French food to America. I mean, not America, to Hawaii.
Yeah.
And he opened up Michel restaurant. They call his name Michel. So when he quit Michel, he opened up Chez Michel. And my wife was working as a manager there. So when he was trying to sell the restaurant, that's when I met her.
Nice.
And she did see my Mercedes.
And the gold chain. and the
gold-
2-carat.
I don't want to go trade anymore because it's scary nowadays.
Yeah, you gotta ward them off now. Yeah, you gotta be a little bit more humble and
I know.
more unassuming. Yeah. So going to you, Elisia, where are you from? Where you grad, and what was it like growing up with this father who seems really
Yeah.
fun?
So I was born and raised here, born at Kapiolani. I graduated high school from Punahou. And I had a really great childhood. It amazes me every time I hear my dad's stories because it's so crazy thinking about the childhood that they had. Like even my mom was an orphan. She was found on the street, brought to an orphanage in Hong Kong, and then adopted by a family. And it's so crazy to me when I hear their story. And because of everything that they did and all the success, you heard how hard he worked right after high school, even when he was a kid. And then because of that, I had an amazing childhood. I never had to do those things because everything I needed, they were able to give to me. So I had a great childhood growing up here. L&L was created already. I'm so lucky I had 2 parents who were really great, who were always there for me, even though this one's kind of crazy. But it was really great. I really had a tremendous childhood, and I feel very lucky that I spent some time on the mainland, but I was able to come back home and be with my family again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you thrown into the business at a young age?
No, I think
free
so. My
child labor
first
kind?
yes, child labor kind. My sister and I were selling water in Chinatown every Chinese New Year. Small kind stuff, not too big. But my first job, I was working at Kahala L&L as a cashier, and I was kind of like super naive. I didn't realize they treated me so well. Like they gave me. Like I had a long lunch break. I never had to take out trash. I was like, oh, this job's not that bad. And then only later on I realized, like, oh, because like I'm the boss's daughter, they didn't make me do. But that was my first job, and I really enjoyed it. But the intention was that I wasn't going to work at L&L right away. I wanted to do my own thing. My dad had gotten a lot of advice from other family business folks that I should work somewhere else, get my own promotions, kind of like prove that I can do things, and then eventually come home. So that was a plan. So I did a little bit of L&L, but not too much. So I went to the mainland for school, and I got a job at GE, and I really liked it. And actually, for many years, I actually enjoyed being on the mainland. I loved it. I was in California. I was in New York. I traveled around the country. I traveled around the world with my job. And for many years, I thought, no, I don't need to come back home. Restaurant business is tough business. I was in entertainment for a bit. I was in energy for a bit. I was like, I'm really enjoying what I'm doing, and I don't want to come back home. And I was very lucky that my parents didn't give me too much pressure. A lot of family businesses, the parents give a lot of pressure, or based on circumstance, if someone passes away, the kid has to come home or work in the business. And I was lucky I got to make the choice for myself when I was ready to come home. And so actually I did graduate school. And after that time, I was around, oh my gosh, right before I was 30, I decided that it was time for me to come home. I was ready to bring what I had learned and come back and bring that to the company.
Yeah, you missed the plate lunches.
I missed the plate lunches.
But there's a
But
lot
we
of
had
L&Ls,
plenty over there on the mainland, yeah.
So did you ever go to
I
certain
missed my
locations?
family. I missed my
It's the family.
family.
It's the family.
Yeah.
It's the people.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to locations over there and was like, hey, my family owns this place?
I'm kind of like, I would go to the locations, but I'd go without my shirt. And I don't know, I kind of felt, I don't know the right word. I didn't like going in there and being like, oh, my family started this, so but
More
I'd go and
low-key.
enjoy and support. Yeah.
Yeah. So did you ever go to certain franchises and would be like a secret food critic?
Yes,
Like you ever seen
100%.
like the undercover boss?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
ever did that
yeah,
stuff?
yeah. So I would like call my dad and be like, this location has the katsu doesn't taste right.
You know what the best thing about L&L is? I feel like it's the consistency.
Yeah.
That's what I always loved. Like the chicken katsu, no matter where I go, I know what I'm gonna get. Cause I'm always having this debate where in Hawaii has the best chicken katsu.
Yeah.
And there's like fancier ones,
Yes.
that you would consider the best. But L&L, I would say, is one of the best because I know what I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
I know I'm always gonna be satisfied. The sauce is always gonna be good.
Yeah.
And unique to
Yes.
L&L, and I'm always satisfied every time.
I love it.
That's
Thank
why
you
I
for
love
sharing that.
L&L.
So I don't know if everyone knows, but most of our stuff is made in-house. So the chicken is cut, breaded, pankoed,
Caught
the
outside at
sausage.
the, Filipino
Not
family
that,
house down
not
the
that
road.
homemade.
Oh, that's the joke I've been talking about all the time. We have the freshest chicken that we serve because I buy it every weekend after the cockfight. Oh, that's a joke. That's a joke.
Is it though?
But we do make everything in-house. Our sauces in-house, so it's fresh. The flavor is always there. But I'm glad that comes through.
Yeah, that's true because if
sure.
you look at any restaurant, most of them are just cooked at central kitchen and then defrosted. But us, everyone, you go early in the morning, 7 o'clock, they're cutting chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Defrosted, cutting,
Breading it, yeah.
and fried. And yeah, it's true. The katsu is probably one of the better one because it's more consistent because it's easy for us to cook it. Just cut, bread it, and fry.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas the barbecue may be a little different because they may use more or less sauce and, the consistency may not be as good.
Definitely. Yeah, for my birthday last year or 2 years ago, because I'm from Hilo, so I go back with my family for Hilo, and we're all deciding what should we get for my birthday.
Yeah.
Chicken katsu platter.
Yeah.
Let's go downtown L&L,
Yes.
pick it up, take it home. You leave happy and
Well, let us
satisfied.
know next time you want to cater for your birthday.
Oh, for sure, definitely.
But the secret is you have to eat it right away.
Yeah. Well,
Because we deep fry it right away. When it's hot, it's good. You
It's
wait it
best.
for about an hour or so, it's not the same.
yeah, but I feel like the tin pan and the foil, it keeps it
It's
pretty
As
good.
good
for a
as
while.
it
Cook
can,
it
yeah.
right away when
Yeah.
it's hot. Oh gosh, I tell you,
Well,
it's
I
so
mean,
good.
I'm the kind where right when it gets into the car, I lift it up and start biting it, and I'm like, it's so hot and just burning my mouth, but I can't stop. That's the kind of eater I am.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about the history of L&L and how you founded it with your partner.
Well, it's really a long history because it's actually started by a Korean gentleman by the name of Robert Lee in 1952. He started a dairy. He called that L&L Dairy, and he named it after himself and his son, Robert Lee Jr.
We're not sure. Either
Well,
the
we're
son
not
or
sure.
his
The
wife.
mom claimed that it's her
Ida
name,
Lee,
Mrs.
yeah.
Lee, but we're not gonna argue. So it's Lee and Lee or L&L. Eventually, he
okay.
opened
Lee
up,
and
hamburger places to sell burger and milk, and then in the 1960 or 70, he would have the L&L location, original one at Liliha Street, and we bought it in 1976. In 1976, we live about a block away.
Oh,
And my mom was working as kind of like a dishwasher cashier at Lynn's Deli in Ala Moana. And at that time, I already make money. And I said, Mom, I buy you a restaurant. Honest to God, people don't believe I bought my mother a restaurant. I bought her the restaurant and I gave it to her as a gift. I'm so tight. My girlfriend asked me, are you going to pay for the lunch? I said, no, you pay for yourself. But my mom, I bought her the restaurant, gave it to her as a gift. And what I did was, she didn't like to work. It's very difficult. It's very hard work in restaurants. So I asked my good friend, Mr. Johnson Cam. Okay, Mr. Cam, he came in, became a partner with my mother. That's how we started. I was never in restaurant business. I got a college degree at UH, a business degree, So I'm not going to work there. So those two work in a restaurant. But eventually, my mom decided it's too difficult, too hard to work. And she sold everything to my partner, Johnson Cam. So at that time, I think 1978, I was completely out of the L&L picture.
Oh, wow. And then how'd you get back in?
How did I get back in? Well, I have to talk about Mr. Cam, Johnson. He's one of the most generous guys I have ever met. I'm telling you, he's very generous. The second store was at university. He opened up, and he helped his friend open, let them use the name, and don't charge a fee. Then he did that to the third, to the fourth, to the fifth. Helping friends, just helping friends. And one day in 98, 99, we went to Maui on a vacation. Because we're close friends. I'm kind of like an advisor to him. I sold him everything: insurance, car, what else?
Go chain.
Real estate, not go chain. He got go chain. I sold him everything. We're buddies because his English, I'm more educated. So he always asks me for advice. I know I'm more akamai in business. So he always come to me for advice. So I help him. We're good friends. So we travel together quite often. On one trip in Maui, our family were traveling, and I said, Johnson, you can't just let your friend use your name and teach them everything and not charge a dime for it. That's not the Chinese way of doing business.
That's the local way, which is
I tell you, I said, you can't do
and
that.
good.
He said, well, I said, do you want me to come in and help you to start a franchise? And he always said yes to me. He said, yeah, okay, why don't you start a franchise? So I did. And I went back home and started doing research on franchising. I have no idea what franchising is. I don't have any idea about restaurant business other than working, as a busboy. I have no idea. So, but again, I got a very good education at University of Hawaii, business. I don't have to go to USC, UH is just as good. So, and, I started to learn franchising and form the franchise company. That's how we started.
Yeah. And didn't you have like crazy amount of growth kind of just from the start?
Well, the growth is actually triggered by my partner. I always say he's a very generous man. He would start a restaurant in Hawaii and then run it and then find a very capable cook, someone very reliable, and he sell it to him. And that's how we keep expanding, you know, and we grew almost like 20, 30 within 10 years,
Wow.
you know, in Hawaii. And I want to, you know, make sure people know, you know, franchising is not that easy. It's extremely difficult. And L&L is probably one of the only franchise company from Hawaii that we do it successfully in the mainland and everywhere else. There's no other company from Hawaii that went to the mainland and franchised successfully. We are the only one.
Yeah.
And we are just lucky. And I want to be very thankful for the local people. You know, I've been telling people, without the local people supporting us in the mainland, spreading the good word about L&L, it will never happen. Mahalo to all the local people, even the military. Surprisingly, we have the military people support us. Yeah. I can give you a story. You know, we have this guy, former Chinese doctor, heart surgeon in Watertown in New York. Can you believe that? Wow. He asked me, hey, I want to open up L&L. So I went there, did some research, and I said, hey, that's only 5,000 white American in this little town. It's impossible to open up a franchise up there. You know, you get all those white American. They not eat our food. They not no local people. But he insists there's a military base in there, which is Fort Drum. And, you know, and he said he want to try. And he did. 5 years later, he bought the shopping center, the strip mall where he was. I'm so proud of him. You know, being a heart surgeon, came to America, cannot speak English, and he became a multimillionaire.
Wow. You hear a lot of those stories just in TV and news, but it's really amazing to hear it locally and like in person like this. And a lot of people are watching this and they're going to be really inspired by this story. It's kind of like the American dream that we all hear about, right? But to have it a little bit more smaller, as in like in Hawaii, it's a little bit more attainable, it seems like. I think that's the story alone is just one of the greatest things about L&L besides the food. Because even right now, I'm just like so inspired. I want to go out and make millions of dollars right after this.
Well, if you're interested, please see our commercial. HawaiiBBQ.com. When you're saying that, I can tell you another story too about Tim. You want to talk about Tim?
Tim?
You don't know him too well. Okay, Tim.
I know Tim. You can tell the story.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you go down to Waikiki today, Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, we just opened up L&L at the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, and this gentleman, his name is Tim. He came to us about 5 years ago, and Johnson helped him. You know, 18 years old guy, cannot speak English, no money, and we'll help him with the first store. He worked for us, and today he owned 3 L&L 5 years later. And his store in Waikiki is probably one of the top 10 in Hawaii right now.
Oh, that's
I mean, unbelievable. I mean, 5 years ago, he just came in, can't speak English, have no money, no education. Voila.
Yeah.
So one of the things I really love about the restaurant business is that you can come in with no experience, no education, cannot speak. We have many workers who, you know, and just start with a job and work your way up to a manager and eventually an owner, not just with L&L, but in restaurant business. And I think that's super unique. You talk about being able to become a millionaire or to work really hard and be successful. And I love that our organization, you know, my dad and Uncle Johnson achieved their American dream, and I am a recipient of that because I've done so well. And every day, our franchisees, the ones who choose to become an L&L, they're trying to fulfill their American dream. They're quitting and leaving their jobs to open up a business that is their own, that they can create a legacy for their family. And that's just so cool to see, to be part of this people's American dreams.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us how franchising works? Because I had a few people ask me about it before coming on the podcast today. Because I couldn't really explain it to them as well as you probably can.
So franchising, if it's kind of like licensing, if you're familiar with that. But so we are the franchisor, and the people who own our stores are our franchisees. And we have kind of a contractual relationship with each other. But they buy into the franchise, which allows them to use our L&L name, which gives them our recipes and different trade secrets. We give them training. We help them open up their store. We help support them along the way. And in return, they pay a fee to us for those services. The thing that's very unique about L&L franchise is that our fee system is very low. So many franchise organizations, their fee is 10% plus. So every sale you make, 10% would have to go back to the franchisor. For L&L, our fee is around 4%, which is honestly the lowest I've ever seen.
Just to cover the GE tax.
Just to cover, yeah.
The get tax.
Just to cover the tax. But we keep it low because we want to have opportunity available to as many people as we can. The other thing that's really unique about us is you go to so McDonald's is a franchise, Pizza Hut, most of the big chain, right, are franchise. You go to them, they're all the same, right? You go to 2L&L right now, they're a little bit different, but we give our franchisees flexibility. They own the business. They're part of L&L, but it's their business. They gave up their other life. They're working in there every day. We want them to have more sense of ownership. So we let them, if they love, we got some L&Ls that make tocino. We have plenty of L&Ls that make Chinese food. They have to have the core menu. They have to have the chicken katsu, the barbecue chicken, the macaroni salad. But if there are other things that is unique to them that they want to bring in, we allow them to do that. And then the other thing that really differentiates us is that it's a family business. I think L&L will hopefully always be a family business. And so everyone that we welcome in, they're part of our family and we want them to do well. A lot of times my job is telling people, are you sure you want to open a restaurant? It's really tough. Are you sure you want to invest your whole retirement plan into this business? It's really tough. Because we care about the person being successful. And if they are, then we will be as well. We don't care about us, growing and growing. We care about our franchisees growing.
That's amazing. I love that.
We preach ohana. I mean, they don't understand what it means. When we talk to someone in the mainland, when they come over as a franchisee, we say, hey, this is ohana. You join an ohana, you're part of the family. You can call me anytime. When you talk to McDonald's or some big franchise company, you never just talk to the CEO or the chair, but they can talk to me anytime. I will respond to you the same day. And that's what we're preaching, really part of the family. We want you to make money. If you don't make money, it reflects on us as a franchisor.
Yeah. Were you ever nervous about expanding outside of Hawaii? Just kind of wondering if people were going to be receptive to it or if there was even a demographic for it.
Well, I can tell you a story about how we started in the mainland. We actually started in Hawaii to expand in 1990. By year 2000, my partner Johnson came to me and said, hey, we have one of our former employees open up a little Hawaiian drive-in, something like that, and on Mission Street in San Francisco. And he's doing not that bad. So he asked me to fly down with him. We flew down and we took a look and said, wow, if he's doing so well, we can do better because we have the know-how, we got more money. And that's when Johnson just went berserk. He flew to the mainland and he opened tons of stores. That's how we expanded. Wow. And I got to tell you about the Spam Musubi since we talk about the Spam Musubi, in year 2000, we'll have this gentleman, Derek Tom, and the wife, Elaine Tom, and they were running one of the store by the airport. And he wanted to go to the mainland. And I said, okay. So we found a location at West Covina. And Derek came to me and said, Eddie, we should sell Spam Musubi. I said, I've never heard of Spam Musubi. Back in the year 2000, wasn't that popular, I said, what is Spam Musubi? I said, oh, it tastes very good. So he made me one, and I ate it. I said, yeah, okay, let's try it. And let me tell you, that was one thing I have to make claim that we brought Spam Musubi to the mainland and popularized it. Because back in the old days, there's very few people eating Spam Musubi, and now Spam Musubi is one of our top-selling items, and everybody copy us now. We may have sold 100, 200, 300 in some stores a day. You can see Caucasian eating it. In fact, recently they have a Hawaii product show in Washington, D.C., and Senator Chuck Schumer came and ate 4 mini Spam Musubi. Can you believe that?
I mean, it is almost like the food of Hawaii. You know, it's like if there was a national food for Hawaii,
Yeah.
it might be the spam musubi, even though it's not like a native Hawaiian food. Like, you know, it would probably have to be realistically like poi or something or taro. But in this local modern era, I'd probably give a vote for spam
Yeah,
musubi.
the modern era. Now, remember now,
Yeah.
before the
Yeah.
year 2000, there's I don't know how it started, Spam Musubi.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
is the history of it?
we got to do some research on that.
Yeah. Do you know where the biggest factory, where it's from? I mean, you got to know, right?
So it was started. I think it was started by a woman on the Big Island, and it
Of course,
was.
Big Island. Best spot.
You guys
Big
invent
Island.
all the great local dishes.
Local Moco.
But yeah, loco moco.
Yeah.
But it's become more and more popular, and it's amazing. But one of the things that so the first move to the mainland was kind of scary, but now we have more L&L on the mainland than we do here in Hawaii, and I don't think we're worried about people liking the food once they taste it. Guaranteed, like they like it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of educating people on what is a plate lunch, what is a spam musubi. I remember being told a story. So we used to have a store in Chicago. It's not there anymore, but I remember hearing a story of a customer who went and so they saw the picture of the plate lunch and they're like, "Oh, what are those two white mounds?" And it was like scoops of rice, right? But mainland is not used to people serving rice, like with the ice cream scoop, right? So it's just people are not used to having like a lunch where there's a starch and there's rice as a starch and macaroni salad. And it's just getting people to understand our style of food, our different flavors. But once they do, they love it. And we love that we're soon opening a store in South Carolina. We have a ton of stores opening in Texas. All these places where we were super confident. California got local people, got Asian people.
West Coast is easy.
West Coast is easy, but coming out of the West Coast, that's where our biggest growth is now. And it just shows to me that people are super open to our flavors and they're super open to our food. They already love Hawaii and the culture. And coming to an L&L gives them literally a taste of that.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have to educate them on how to say spam musubi?
Yes.
Could they say, what is the most common, like musubi?
Musubi.
Musubi?
Masubi.
Masubi.
Musubi. Yeah.
Can I have the chicken katsu?
Yeah, chicken
Katsu. Made with 100% cat. Oh, man. Well, I didn't realize that L&L was not just a place where you break your mouth, but you learn. It's an educational experience.
No, it is. I got to give you another story too. You
Yeah.
know Loco Moco,
Keep
right?
them coming, yes.
Loco
Cafe
Moco
100.
is actually came from Big Island again, Hilo. And we saw Loco Moco in the mainland, one day I saw this Mexican couple pointing at the picture, Loco Moco, laughing. I didn't understand why. I asked him, "Well, why are you laughing at the picture?"
Oh, yeah.
He said, "You know what Loco Moco means?"
Yeah.
You tell them.
Yeah, well, I mean, loco's like crazy and moco's like mucus.
Yeah, mucus.
Yeah,
Well,
so
you
it's like
sound
crazy
like
mucus.
crazy mucus.
Yeah, I learned that when I was studying abroad in Spain.
Yeah,
My host
because
mom, I was telling her about that.
Hawaii, we thought Loco Moco was just
Yeah.
the food, but for the Mexican, they look at it, wow, Loco Moco.
That's
you
the
know,
gravy. The mucus is
the
the gravy on
mucus.
top, right?
And the
Yeah.
egg.
from the nose.
Yeah.
That's so funny. And you talk about Loco Moco, we adjust the menu quite often because let's say you go to Japan, we're selling mostly Loco Moco. Very hard to start katsu. They got so many katsu up there.
Yeah,
It was selling Loco Moco. And in fact, if you go to McDonald's, they sell Loco Moco too.
No way.
Yeah, I'm
Really?
not joking. Loco Moco in McDonald's and Shibuya, we did
Wow.
our study. I went down there, looked at it. Wow, Loco Moco.
People love that crazy mucus.
Yeah, crazy mucus.
Yeah. More mucus, please.
You mean the
Wow.
gravy?
Yeah, the gravy. This story is just so incredible, and when you two were first brought up to me as an option to have on my podcast, I was so interested because I've seen L&L my entire life, like everywhere I go, and like that's one of the things that when you're living outside of Hawaii, like you're in college, whatever, you hear friends like in Oregon, whatever. Oh no, yeah, I go to the L&L right down the road or whatever. It really makes people feel at home. It's comfort food.
Yeah.
Right. And to have that wherever you are, because there's so many Hawaiians and locals that, have been displaced that have to live outside of here because they can't afford to live because they don't have the business acumen that Eddie does yet. They're still learning. But it really is like a home away from home,
Yeah.
right?
I love when I hear stories of kids who are going to college and they're like, I was just told someone who's going to Irvine and said, oh, we got an L&L in Irvine. And it just makes them so happy that they can go get plate lunch when they want. Or even a lot of people tell us about when we had one in New York City and they were so excited because when they were missing home or when it was cold, they can go and get a lokomoko, chicken katsu. And for a brief moment, they would be back home.
Yeah, I love that. That's super cool. Every time I would go somewhere, I would try to look for the local places. The one exception to that I do not like is when I see a place that is serving Hawaiian food or whatever, and they have nothing to do with Hawaii. Like I saw one in Canada, and I was like, oh, wow, Hawaiian barbecue. This is so cool. And then I started to talk with people, and like none of them, the owner was not even from Hawaii.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't like this place.
There's actually plenty. There's more and more nowadays, because we've been so successful. I think that's caught the eye of some other companies who are opening up Hawaiian barbecue style food, or plate lunch style food, and they have nothing to do with Hawaii. So one thing that we're super proud of is that we're founded here, we're based here, we plan to stay, obviously he's retiring here,
Yeah.
I'm going to be retiring here. We have all of our franchisees, whether they have any tie to Hawaii or not, they have to come here for training. We actually have someone here right now from Colorado. They're opening up in Denver, and he's here for training. He brought his team here for training. We want them to come to Hawaii. We want them to understand, the foundation of our food and our company, and we're proud to do that.
Nice. So what is the criteria for when they come? They have to eat some spam musubi, chicken katsu, lokomoko, and if they Kanak attack, then they pass?
Then they pass, yeah.
If they pass out, then they pass the test.
Exactly.
All right. Well, I want to get into our fan questions from social media. I'm going to do something that I don't think I've done in a while or ever. I think I'm going to skip the shishi break because I know you have to get going. And you two are good?
I'm good.
I think I can hold it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't want to miss out on anything. I don't want to miss out on any stories or any further information. So for the first time in I don't know how many episodes, I'm skipping the shishi break. All right. So let's get right into the fan questions from social media. And it's not just from Instagram now because there's this new app called Threads that everybody's on.
Yes,
so now I get questions from Threads as well, which is basically Instagram. But anyways, or I guess the new Twitter.
Yeah.
But from Instagram. So it's a weird, I'm sure they got some beef going on with Zuckerberg and Musk. Yeah. All right. So first question comes from X Dose Vida Beauty. We need the recipe for the katsu sauce. A lot of exclamation points. Sorry, I gotta do that. We need the recipe for the katsu sauce. Some of us live on the mainland. Please share.
Well, it's very easy. All you have to do is go into Amazon.com and look for my cookbook.
Oh, you have a cookbook.
This is
Just
true,
type in
actually.
80 Flores, Amazon.com. That's a Hawaiian barbecue cookbook, so you can buy it.
Oh, and the recipe for
The
the
recipe
katsu
should
sauce
be
is
there.
in there. Okay.
If it's not there, send me an email. I'll send it to you.
Nice. Or for 3 payments of $19.99, you can get it right now here on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Just email us at keepitaloapod@gmail.com and we'll get it to you after you Venmo us all your money. That
Exactly.
works, right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you can't say it. You gotta buy it. It's like getting a subscription to a streaming
Well, you can
network,
go,
right?
so you can get the recipe book and you can make it. But just like so many food things, you can make them at home, but it's gonna taste better in the restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't give all the secrets.
We,
Yeah, you in the book it's like a couple
We
less
subtract about
ingredients.
10%.
Yeah.
No, actually, depends on the ingredients too.
that's true.
Yeah, and if it's fresh
Yeah.
or not.
Like the soy sauce, depending what you're using, we're using
Kikoman,
Yamada, which is the best
Aloha.
one. You use a cheaper one,
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Okay, quick question, okay? Kikoman or Aloha, show you.
Oh, so actually we don't use either of those in our recipes.
Okay, but just in general
Oh.
for you.
Okay, so
I
we
always have this debate with
partner
people.
with Aloha, so I gotta go with
Oh,
Aloha.
okay.
Yeah.
I guess Aloha.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Aloha too.
Yeah.
I'm an
Yamada.
Aloha
Yamada.
over
Yeah.
the Kikoman.
They're a great
Yeah.
family business as well, doing really great things.
Mhm.
They also have expanded out to the mainland with a factory there. We love Aloha.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I love Aloha too. That's the name of the podcast,
Yes.
Keep It Aloha. So I gotta go with
Yeah.
Aloha. Aloha always.
Always.
Okay. Next question comes from Mr. Delicious with a DY. Delicious. Do you have any plans of branching out to Canada? If so, Vancouver first, please.
So we currently don't have any plans for Canada, but we're always thinking about where we can go next. So now is my time to do the
look at
advertisement.
that's your
If
camera
you
right
want to
there.
open in Canada, give us a call and let us know. But I'm excited that we got plenty of opportunity opening up here in the United States. We've actually opened a bunch of stores internationally before, and it's just a lot more difficult for many, many reasons. So right now our focus is here domestically, but always going to think about opportunities in the future. I think if we did Canada, Vancouver would be a fantastic place. For
Actually,
us to go
we
to.
met with a prospective franchisee that really wanted to open in Canada, and we turned them down because we just didn't think they're going to make it. But interesting enough, my partner, Johnson Cam, he called me this morning in Canada. He said he saw this little restaurant called Aloha Hawaiian BBQ.
That's probably the same one I went to.
It's probably
It's
the
in
fake
Vancouver.
one.
He
It's
said
in Vancouver.
Shoot.
by the wharf. Is
Yeah.
it by the wharf?
Yeah, I think so.
He said
Yeah.
it was pretty busy. He said, "Hey, we may have to move here." That's
Yeah.
what he said. I said, "Wait a second.
Bring the authentic Hawaiian barbecue over
Yeah, I
there.
know.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
you know, I want to tell you stories too about our copycats. We have so many copycats.
That's how you know you made it.
It's just unbelievable. You want to hear this story?
Oh, I want to hear all the
my
stories,
franchisee
Eddie.
called me up and said, "Hey, you know, they copy us all the time." And I told her, "Okay, from now on," I sent out a memo. I say, "From now on, anyone come in, take pictures. Don't ask any question. Just shoot them."
Oh my gosh.
Is it
That's
legal
a
in some
joke now.
states? Texas, maybe that's illegal.
No, honest to God. I mean, I'm telling you, there's some national brand that came in too. Even in Kansas, in middle of America, they have, copycats that, and they're getting pretty big too.
Wow.
I don't want to mention any names, but you can Google and find out.
And there's CNC,
Yeah,
copycat, copy and cat.
We do have CNCs here in Hawaii, I think.
The CNC drive-in. One day I drove by and I say, "Wait a second, now that looks like L&L," because the drive-in is exactly the same font they're using.
Wow.
Then I look, CNC, not L&L.
Well, you can tell them now it stands for copy and cat.
Copycat.
I tell you, it's I sue a number of them, but after a while they say, that's okay, let's leave it. But we are suing, some other people too, because they're using a Hawaiian barbecue. Number one Hawaiian barbecue. We felt that we are number one, and we register the name too. I register everything.
Really?
I'm
Smart.
very akamai,
Business guy, really,
everything.
Akamai.
I register. So someone actually used number one Hawaiian barbecue, and they are not from Hawaii. They have no idea what Hawaii is. They claim they're number one, and we cannot let that happen.
Okay, now I feel like I gotta trademark my stuff. I gotta
Yeah,
trademark
for sure.
number
You
one
gotta
podcast
trademark.
in
Yeah.
Hawaii according to Kamaka DSH's model. I gotta trademark that exact phrase just in case.
Trademark everything. I'm
Okay.
telling you.
Okay, next question comes from Trini.as. She wants to know, what's your favorite thing on the menu?
My favorite thing is a chinkatsu, just like you, always.
Garu.
I like barbecue chicken.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my dad is super healthy.
Healthy.
Actually, my mom is also, she's a vegetarian.
Oh,
But the
okay.
barbecue chicken can be healthy. You take the skin off.
Yeah,
Not bad.
that's
Brown rice.
Yeah.
yeah. I love my white rice, but yeah, maybe the hapa rice I
Yes.
could do.
Yeah.
But I think that's the food here in Hawaii is the reason I can't go vegetarian or vegan, because it's impossible, especially with Hawaiian food. How am I gonna give up lau chicken?
Cannot.
I mean, kalua pig, and then you got like the local influence, which like the Asian food, chicken katsu, Korean chicken,
Yeah.
meat chicken.
Yeah.
I can't.
Can.
It's impossible.
But you can still be healthy in what you eat.
Yeah, everything in moderation.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So chicken katsu every other day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quick question, going back to Spam Musubi, trivia. Do you know how many cans of Spam are sold in Hawaii every year?
Oh my gosh. No
I
idea.
know we sell more than in the mainland. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
because the prices for spam, a can of spam is cheaper here in Costco than in Costco in the mainland.
Really?
Can you believe that? I mean, you'd have to ship it over, but
And
it's
it's still
cheaper in
cheaper, wow.
Hawaii.
Wow.
Do you have the answer?
Sydney. I do, yes.
Is it?
Yeah, I can give you options.
This is 7 million is my guess.
7 million, that's exactly it. Good guess.
I know
Tuna
my
hole
spam.
education right there. All right, okay, next question comes from Leem_415. How were they able to expand to the continent, and what markets outside of Hawaii do they do best?
So I think my dad shared a little bit of the first time we went, and I think it was so we don't do a ton of market research. Like I think we sent somebody there. We had a lot of, we saw that it had a potential to be successful, especially in California. The thing that I think really helped us in the beginning is that we had local people, like they were living here and they wanted to be business people and they were ready to make a jump to go to the mainland to open up the store. And so they really understood the product. They really understood the brand. They really understood what they were bringing with them. And it was their dream, their American dream. So they were putting other chips on the table to open up the L&L. And so our first couple of stores were very successful. And from there, we grew. But it was a big jump. I think at the time we had opened as many stores as we could here. And so we're looking for new opportunities. Now when we're thinking about growth, we've done pretty well saturating the West Coast. And now we're looking at different markets. I'm really focused on Texas. We have 4 amazing franchisees there. A couple of them are really, really active in opening. Colorado has been a tremendous place for us as well. So Texas has a great military, a lot of military bases. A lot of those customers really love L&L. In Colorado, we have a lot of Kama'aina over there, really support L&L. And then the other place we're looking at is actually Georgia. We only have 2 stores there right now, but I think they love our food.
You got to open up right next to University of Georgia or by the stadium because those football players guarantee you will be grinding some L&L.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Do you know what is the number 1 location on Oʻahu?
On Oʻahu? Yeah. I would think it's the one at Keamoku inside of the Walmart.
Inside the Walmart?
Inside the Walmart.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh, like the Sam's Club Walmart place?
Yeah. Super busy. I think because they have so many people going in and out.
Smart, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get hungry after all that shopping.
Yes.
Yeah. What about the Big Island?
The number one, the whole system is in the Big Island.
Which one?
Which one is that? By the airport. What is that called?
Is it shoot. I think it's Honokohao.
Honokohao.
By the airport. By the airport.
Side. Yeah.
Close to the airport. That's number 1. I don't know.
In the whole system. Yeah.
And funny thing too about all the stores we have in the outer island, we all serve Chinese food because we found out that in the outer island there's no Chinese restaurant, good Chinese restaurant.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, it's not like here. We have a lot of Chinese restaurant here, but in the outer island, very few Chinese restaurants. So every L&L selling Chinese food.
Yeah, we're local. I mean, there's Panda, which is like a huge corporation.
That's not a restaurant. That's a fast food.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm sorry.
I didn't think about that.
What?
No, I misspoke. My bad. Okay, next question. These are our first questions from Threads.
Ooh.
Oli'i Aleva wants to know, how do you supply the lau to the mainland?
So we have one of our local vendors. We sell Kioki's lau.
Oh, okay. Nice.
And we actually have to send them frozen from here to the main. I think we FedEx them.
Oh, really?
So it's actually really expensive. I think by the time, for example, it makes it to Texas, it's maybe costs us $6 per lau.
Per lau.
Per lau, because the shipping is actually super expensive.
It's by the pound?
So by the pound for shipping.
Oh.
So we lose money selling lau, but we keep it on the menu because we know the local people out there love it. And we don't have it all the time, but we got to make sure it's on the menu because we know they come for it.
That's keeping it aloha, everybody, right there. Got to get the lau to the to the outer parts of the world. Wow, that's really cool that you guys do that. Next question comes from Kiara Wong O'Connor. Do you find some dishes are more popular in Hawaii versus on your mainland locations?
For sure. So Hawaii, I think the number 1 plate lunch is chicken katsu.
Mm-hmm.
And on the mainland, the number 1 is barbecue mix.
Mix. And what's in the mix?
So in the mix, you have barbecue chicken, terry beef, and short ribs.
Oh, okay.
So it's more the grill item, and then here is the fried item. Yeah.
And do they get extra mac salad over rice, or is rice still popular?
You don't know that. Rice still, but maybe for sides on the mainland, people like French fries more too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think I've had fries from L&L actually.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would go and order.
Yeah.
Fries.
You go for the katsu
Yeah. Huh.
or the mac.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know, you keep mentioning plate lunch. Actually, we're calling it Hawaiian barbecue now. Even Hawaii, we call Hawaiian barbecue.
Yeah, but it's a plate lunch.
Yeah, it's a plate. Okay, Hawaiian barbecue. Because when we went to the mainland, I have to make the decision what name to use. Because we the original restaurant is called L&L Drive-In. If I bring it to the mainland, no one would know what it is. So I decided to test the name. And I want to tell you, the word Hawaiian is worth $1 million.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I said, what's the other
This
word?
guy is smart. This is the most
Barbecue.
akamai
Barbecue.
guest we've ever had.
Barbecue, and everybody eat barbecue, even though it's not healthy. Hawaiian barbecue, L&L Hawaiian barbecue. We registered the name.
That's so amazing. You had the foresight to think of it like that.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
My daughter didn't think so. Since she became a CEO, I have ideas. I say, hey, honey, I got this idea. What do you think? She said, no, I don't want to listen.
Yeah. No, because I think about that when I make my other business stuff. Like even when I was rebranding this podcast and I named it Keep It Aloha, I was thinking like, I don't want to name it Hawaii because that keeps it too small in Hawaii. People are but Aloha, everybody associates Aloha with Hawaii, but Aloha is more global.
Yes.
In my mind. So that's kind of.
No, Hawaii sells. I'm telling you, that's what I found out from day one when I was young.
Yeah, anything, just stamp
anything
Hawaii.
Hawaiian.
Yeah. I don't mind it when local people do it, but when people who aren't from here use the brand of Hawaii just to make money and commercialize it, I don't like that. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You can't stop them.
Yeah. Has anybody trademarked Hawaii yet? Am I too late to do that?
I'm sorry, trademark.
Trademarked Hawaii?
No, you cannot
not
trademark.
yet?
It's too common.
Too late.
Too common.
Okay, last question comes from Sierra Noelani. This person wants to know, how does it feel to be linked to Hawaiiana so closely and to be able to bring small comfort or familiar food to those that cannot be here?
It's such a privilege, I think. The stories that make me so happy all the time is when I hear of how someone ate our food after being away and they drive hours to come to an L&L to get lau or loco moco or chicken katsu or whatever. And they go there and they go with their family or they bring their friends. And it takes them back home. And for us to be able to do that, it's such a privilege. And, just talking about Hawaii, we're so lucky to be here and to live here. And we're so lucky that our company was founded here and we have success from being here. And the other privilege that we have as a franchise organization is, again, people, we see it every day, but it truly is magical being here. And we have people literally investing their life savings to open up an L&L because they have such a connection, whether it was a short time, a long time, whatever, but they have such a connection to Hawaii or such a connection to the food or the culture, whatever it is, that they want to invest their life savings and open up a restaurant and share that with other people. And that's super cool to see. And it's, like I said, the best word I can give is privilege to be a part of that.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Wow. Well, mahalo everybody for those social media fan questions. Make sure you leave some for our next guest and maybe your question will make it on the podcast. Okay, so we're coming to the back end of the podcast. And I like to ask all of my guests, what does Keep It Aloha mean to them? That's the name of our show. I always like to keep it aloha in my life. In your life, how do you keep it aloha and what does that mean to you?
I think, for me, we have, we're talking a lot about business, so maybe I'll share from the business side. We have, to me, it's all about relationships and how where all the success that we've had and continue to have is because the relationships, my dad and his business partner, Uncle Johnson, between us and our franchisees. And if we treat each other right, if we care about each other, we will all be successful in the end. We see it all the time. And I truly believe that.
Awesome answer.
Well, aloha means to be generous to everyone. Give back to your community, when you make money, because they don't want to take care of you. And always very thankful, like I said before, to the local community because they don't want to support L&L. Without the local people, L&L would never be that successful. Because no matter where we open, they would drive hours to support us. And I'm very thankful for that.
Definitely. we like to talk about culture a lot on this podcast, and to me, a big part of culture is food. And you kind of are the quintessential. I think I said that word correctly, but it just came to my
Yes.
head. Like mom and pop shop, like plate lunch, popularized the plate lunch shop, and now it's part of our local culture, our Hawaiian culture. Do you ever have you ever seen the difference, like from when you were growing up in Hawaii to now, how much it's changed, and how the community has changed around just like the plate lunch, the idea of the plate lunch?
Wow, that's a very deep question.
It's quintessential.
It
I,
is.
no, I think it changed a lot because when I was attending UH, I paid 55 cents for the plate lunch. Usually it's beef curry, stew,
55
beef
cents.
stew, a hamburger steak, But nowadays we change a lot. Our plate lunch evolves too. When we started L&L in 1976, it was basically the same thing. But again, my partner Johnson Cam has one of his friend came in and showed him how to make katsu. Chicken katsu and barbecue chicken. In fact, he learned it from Bob's Barbecue at Dillingham. And that's when we expanded the menu. So actually, the plate lunch, the Hawaiian barbecue concept really changed a lot versus the old way of doing it, like soy chicken and so on. But we changed. We did mostly very closer to a Japanese and Korean style now. If you look at it, people say, "Oh, is that Chinese?" No, that's no Chinese food. It's Asian American.
Yeah.
It changed quite a
I think
bit.
the plate lunch itself probably has changed and morphed a little bit. Flavors are always adjusting as the world becomes more open to even here we get more inputs here and that changes. But I think the feeling around food, around families coming together for a meal, friends, I don't think that's changed, but maybe what on the plate has changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That please, people, please, in this PC world that we live in, please don't ever cancel the plate lunch
Please.
because of some
Please.
sort of reason, because it doesn't have like Filipino food or something, or not enough Japanese food or not enough Hawaiian food. Please don't cancel the plate lunch. That's just all I'm saying. Just a random.
Yeah. To us, a
random
plate
thought.
lunch isn't necessarily we think of it as comfort food.
Mhm.
For us, like whether it's the local moko or chicken katsu, it's comforting when you eat it. And people on the mainland, they eat it and it brings them home. It's because it's comforting. And so what's on the plate might change, but it's the things and the feeling that bring you back here.
For sure.
Yeah.
And the people around
And the
it.
people around, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Lanai Tabura, he
Mm-hmm.
came on our podcast a while ago, like a year ago, and he shared one clip that is our most viral clip. He talked about what the meaning of aloha is. And he talked about how the immigration and how people would sit around with their what was it called, like their tin
cans,
can
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and everybody would share
Yes.
a little bit from their culture, and that's how
Yes.
the plate lunch was
Yeah.
invented.
Yes.
And then so
Exactly.
this is kind of like continuing the legacy of that, right?
Yeah.
Was that always the idea?
I think, where the plate lunch, and I think a lot of the food of Hawaii, modern food, is just a sharing of cultures. And I think our state does that very well. And I love that the plate lunch captures that. And so when we bring it to different people and to new people, we're not just introducing them to one thing, we're introducing them to many things. And I don't know if that was intentional, but I actually never thought of that until you said that. But I think it's very unique.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, even in terms of our ethnicities, we say we're a mixed plate.
Yeah.
It all comes down to food. Like, we don't realize how much food is a part of
It's
our
a common
culture and how much-
denominator. Yeah.
we use it in our lives.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Even though, there's the side where, it's not as healthy as other, that leads to like obesity and, all the health problems that we have. But look at this guy. Look, both of you. It's all in moderation.
All in moderation.
That's what we have to tell people.
Yes. Sometimes get that brown rice.
Yeah.
You
Well,
too, Kamak.
yeah, it's called exercise. But no, I think people they like to put blame on things. Nobody likes to take accountability for themselves a lot. They don't like to say like, I'm the problem. They're just like, oh, it's the local culture around food that made me this way. I mean, there is like generational things and, habits that we need to break. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's on us. It's on us to stop eating those plate lunches. You probably don't want to hear it. Keep eating the L&L plate lunches, but just get healthier options.
It is in
We
moderation.
do have
though.
a
I
lot
think
of
it is in
healthy
moderation.
options. I
Yeah.
introduced brown rice. I introduced tossed green salad, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
The chinkatsu without the skin. Is that what
The
you said?
barbecue chicken without the skin.
we
the
got
skin.
the spam musubi, the fake
Chicken
fake,
katsu is pretty
Wait,
not
yeah,
good
if
for
it's
you.
no
But
skin chinkatsu, that's just chicken.
well, the barbecue chicken it can be pretty
yeah,
healthy.
barbecue
Yeah.
chicken,
Yeah.
skinless,
Yeah.
one piece, not three big pieces, one small piece.
Yeah, definitely. I have no control when I have plate lunch. I'm the kind of person that doesn't save for leftovers. I force myself to eat all
Oh my
of it.
gosh.
I always do it.
I
Like,
intentionally
I
cut it in
cannot.
half from the beginning
No,
to save.
I cannot. I accept the consequences and I feel terrible after. And I just like, some people like to go for walks or like walk it off after. I cannot. I just have to connect. That's my thing. But that's also.
At least you have your game plan and you stick to it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I'm a man of routine. Okay, one question I'm curious to know is if you could go back in time and change anything about this business, like would you change anything? Like knowing what you know now, would you do anything differently?
Boy, it's hard to say. I think, when we first started, me and my partner Johnson, it's kind of like free for all.
Mm.
Do anything you want. We don't tell them what to do because most of the franchisees are immigrants and they can barely speak English. So if I have to do it again, I'll do what she's doing right now to make it more standard, more enforcement,
Yeah.
and keep it more uniform.
Mm.
Because if you go to any L&L in Hawaii right now, every store looks different.
But then that's kind of your appeal is that
Yeah,
you
that's
give
what
them that
that's
freedom,
what I've been
right?
saying. You go to a lunch wagon, it's all different.
Yeah.
That's what I was arguing with her one time. Let it be, let them do whatever they want to do, but we should standardize it. If we want to really grow to 1,000 stores or something like that, we cannot maintain the present path. We have to change it, and that's what we're doing right. That's what she's doing.
Yeah. Okay. What's the best business advice you can give to anybody that wants to start a business, whether that's restaurant or get into real estate, whatever?
Well, the best advice is, there's always a risk,
Mm-hmm.
and you gotta work super hard, work hard.
There's no shortcut.
I'm telling you, at L&L, we have a very high success rate,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of study it and find out why some of them fail. The one that fail are usually they're not working there. We have a number of stores that we have, professional football players, professional athletes. They hire a manager to run it, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out that if you run it, chances are very high you're going to be successful and make money.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't even have to speak English.
Yeah.
Just work in the kitchen and cook 12 hours a day.
Yeah. And just hire somebody to
Yeah.
speak English.
That's all
Yeah.
you need to do. I've been telling her all along, in Hawaii, we seldom have a store fail.
Mm.
Only when they lose the lease or they retire.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you never see we close a L&L in Hawaii because we know the people work hard.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen one close.
No, it doesn't. In the
Big Island
mainland,
in
it's a
Hilo.
different story.
Yeah.
It's a little more challenging. And in the mainland, if you run it, you be successful. If you don't run it, people are going to steal you blind.
Yeah. Huh. What about you?
So for me, I think I attended business school, but I'm actually not very good at reading business. There's so many books on
Mhm.
business, leadership, whatever.
Yeah. Podcast now.
Podcast way easier to
Yeah.
do than to read books. But of the books I've read, there's really only two that I've read more than once. One is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People.
Is that the
seen
one
that.
I told you to read?
He gave it to me when I was like a child to read. I don't know. Anyways, the second one is, I think it's Jeffrey Gitmore's Customer Satisfaction is Worthless. And I was just reflecting. I was just reading that one again last week. And I was reflecting kind of, I think, why I'm attracted to both of those books. It's really talking about how people can connect with, it's just teaching you how to connect with people, how to work with people, how to have interactions, relationships. And I feel like being here, growing up here, we are naturally way better at that than other folks. And I think it's such a great skill to have. And I think the way the business environment is now and continues to be, being able to have relationships, being able to have empathy, being able to work with people, to understand people, that goes working hard as a base level. But this really takes you to another level. I think that's super important. I think we're lucky here because we have family all around, because we have friends all around, because we have so much history here. We naturally have to be good at having relationships and meeting people, understanding people.
For sure. And not screwing people over.
And not screwing people over.
Because it's a smaller community.
Keeping it aloha.
Yeah, you got to always keep it aloha.
Yeah.
And I think the plate lunch teaches us that, you have all these little pockets in the side of the plate where you have something from one culture, another culture, all coexisting
harmoniously,
in one place.
Yes,
exactly. So it's just like a symbol of Hawaii where we don't have a majority. We're all minority. The minority is the majority. So we all coexist happily and we all work together. We're all one big ohana and we take care of each other because, at the end of the day, it's who you know over here. The connections are so important than anyone else. You could come in here with all of your money and fancy things and that won't get you as far if you don't have the connection and you don't treat people right.
Exactly.
That's what I've noticed throughout my life.
Yeah.
So that's why the connections are even better. You know?
But I think it's such a core thing of, I think it's a easy thing we don't think about, but I think it's super important for business.
Yeah. See, I'm just,
Natural.
making all these realizations. Like we just have to look at the plate lunch for inspiration. That is the key to Aloha is the plate lunch.
Yes. Yeah.
I hope that's what people take away from this episode.
We can trademark that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. What is something that you wish people knew about you that they don't? And it could be yourself individually or L&L as a whole.
Oh my gosh. I think, I don't really like answering stuff about myself, so I'll answer on behalf of my dad. But it's really, it's so crazy, again, for me to think about my dad and Uncle Johnson and my mom and just all of our restaurant owners, how hard they work. Right now, coming out of the pandemic, it's been super difficult, even more. It was always difficult to run a restaurant. As a business, it has one of the lowest success rates in general. And now it's even more difficult. I hope people understand that, L&L is a big company, but each one of our owners is a small business owner. It's their business. They're in there running it every day. And it's hard for them sometimes to run their business, but they're doing the best that they can. And it just continues to be harder. But I hope people understand and I hope people know that it's, our business owners are trying as hard as they can every day to serve and they're not always perfect, but just know that they're always trying their best.
Nice. Give them some grace. Yeah. Anything to add to that?
Something that you want to know about me that I don't want to tell people.
That people don't know.
You
don't want to tell people.
You wish
Don't tell
people
them.
knew about you.
You keep telling me
Maybe
I'm a smart guy, I'm very akamai, but actually I'm pretty dumb.
He's not. That's what she said.
He's very entrepreneurial, but book smart.
You know how to
is
fake it.
not.
Actually, I'm pretty dumb.
Street smart.
Street smart.
You got the
Super
street
street
smart.
smart.
Yeah.
I tell you,
You know how to hustle.
when I tried to get my master's degree, they wouldn't even take me because my grade point was so low. University. But I did graduate from University of Oklahoma at the end because, the football coach offered me a football scholarship. That's a BS.
Yeah, you look like a Sooner on the
But University of Oklahoma, the Sooners, we got baseball
Linebacker,
player then.
huh?
I mean, softball player.
Defensive lineman. What were you? Yeah.
But I have a, people do know, people that know me that I have a very short attention span. I just don't listen well. You ask me a question, my wife would talk to me, I would walk away. And she said, can you sit down
Is that
here
selective hearing or is that actual bad hearing?
half. So, I wasn't good at school from day one. I wasn't good at school at all. I was not a good student. In fact, when I was young, I have to repeat grades several times. People don't believe that.
Yeah.
But I think my IQ was okay, above average, but not super high. But just, no attention span. I just cannot focus.
Is the IQ thing still a thing these days? Do people take IQ tests?
No.
I've never
I
taken
don't,
an IQ
I don't think I've
test.
taken one.
Yeah. Did people do IQ tests?
I think still do. When I joined the army, they test me on my IQ.
Oh.
I know I passed. My brother didn't pass
Yeah. Maybe it's an army thing. I don't
because
know.
we were trying for the intelligence school.
Yeah.
Army intelligence. He didn't make it. I think they wanted to pick the smart guy, and he's not smart enough. My brother, tell him that too, Jimmy.
Yeah. You never let him forget, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, you didn't pass. I passed. They picked me, they didn't pick you. He was a smart one. He didn't have to join.
But it is funny. Like so he's not naturally book smart. I'd say I'm probably more book smart, but he is a super hustler. Like you had it like since he was a kid, he's always thinking about making money. I don't know. Some people I don't think I was born with that. He was
Yeah.
born with that. Just always thinking about, well,
That's
how can I do this
very
better?
natural.
Yeah.
Inborn. People ask me, how did it happen? When I was 12 years old, I used to buy a watermelon, $1, buy a piece of watermelon, cut it into 3 pieces, and I sell it to my siblings. Would you believe that?
And your siblings bought it?
Yeah, and they have no money, so I extend credit to them. It was so funny, and they never pay me back.
Till this day.
To
They
this
still
day.
owe you.
Because
They
they
get an
don't have
outstanding
money.
balance.
Because I thought, hey, I could eat one for free. They never pay me back. I never forget that the watermelon.
You're too generous. That's why.
Cut 3 pieces and sell it to them 50 cents each.
Do you ever remember paying your dad for food as a child?
No.
This is a safe place. You can.
Safe place. No.
you can-
Like
you
I
can
said,
tell us, yeah.
I was very lucky. Never had to charge me for watermelon.
I'm gonna
Well, you
start doing that to
forgot.
my
I'm going to send you a
siblings.
bill for your tuition.
Yeah. I'm hoping that's already taken care
Yes.
of. Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't send it.
The loan I made you. Whatever I pay, it's a loan.
Yeah. Maybe your child has to do some chores in the
I
future.
think so. Yeah, we'll have him go work at L&L.
Yeah. So it's gonna be that. So when your kid gets older, that's gonna be the 3rd generation of L&L, huh?
Could be the 3rd generation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also got married late in life and had a kid late in life. So I don't know. I mean, he's still working. I guess I'll still have to be working when I'm
Yeah.
his age. But it is fun to think about what the future could be. And if I feel very lucky to carry on the legacy of my dad and Uncle Johnson. It's it's like this huge weight, but also this great privilege. And to grow it would be, I feel like the best thing I could do to give back to the legacy. And then to think about what I could hand off, that's also fun. But he's so young, I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
It's too small right now.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep him alive still.
If she did not work for L&L, would you still try to like force her to come and work for the family business? Be
No,
honest.
I wouldn't. I never pressure her to work for L&L. I never did. But when I was young, when she was growing up, I always say, "Gee, I wish you would work for me."
Subtle
And the
kind.
first hint we got was when you got accepted at USC, and I said, what are you going to study? I asked her. You said entrepreneurship. I never forget that. When you say entrepreneurship, meaning that you want to take over the business. And what did I tell you?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Study finance. And that's the best advice I gave you. Right?
I think he had a game plan from the
I
beginning.
got it.
Yeah.
I told her, do not
think there's a
study
scientific
because
word for that.
you won't get a
It's like
job.
brainwashing or something. Yeah. I don't.
You
what's the
study
scientific word for
finance, and
brain-
now you're doing great with finance.
But
Everybody wants you.
he never pressured. And I'm very lucky because there's plenty of family businesses here, yeah. And sometimes when the kid is forced to come back home, it's tough. The relationship from the family strains, the business suffers, a person suffers. But if you have the ability to make the decision on your own, if you can, I think that's the best choice. And I was lucky enough that I could make that decision.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
And
Yeah.
she got all the training, working for big, Fortune 500.
Yeah.
I don't have to pay her for training. And this is actually, I'll give credit to Warren Luke from Hawaii National Bank. He's the one that told me that never let your children work for you. They have to work somewhere else and get 2 promotion before they should come back and work for you. And that's exactly what happened.
Awesome. Well, that's the game plan then for future families who own businesses and want their kids to come back and work for them, but don't want to pressure them to come back. but also get the business acumen outside of Hawaii and then come back. But not.
But
Sorry, I'm
actually,
trying to summarize it.
you want to give a pitch on that? The Hawaii Universal Hawaii family
Oh,
business.
Okay.
There's a group.
So there's a lot of family businesses here. It's actually really great. I think probably we have more family businesses in our state than in other states. And it's awesome because family business, I think getting to a third or fourth generation, like the chances of that is less than 1%.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's very difficult. But we have a lot here in Hawaii that have been able to do that. So UH has a family business center, and I think it's really great because it's very family business. I feel like the highs are higher, but the lows are lower because you're dealing, like if something's not going right and I have to scold my dad or he has to scold me, it's not just a work thing, it's also a family thing. And then maybe my mom gets involved or,
It's two-person,
It's
right?
so it's more like it's harder, but it's more joyful as well when things are going right, and then you can share that with your family. So there's this organization. And it's great because it gives you other people to talk about who are going through similar things. And
Yeah, you're meeting with different families in Hawaii that has children taking over, so you know the problem.
Yeah.
And it's good for them to network too. You have a chance to network with a lot of the younger generation.
Yeah.
It's like FBA, Family Business Anonymous.
Yes,
Like
it's
a
not
big
anonymous
group,
though.
but not anonymous. Public. Family business public.
When I look at Elisia right now, I think we're very ideal situation because we're probably one of the very few that have a very good transition. From me to her, because I didn't boss her around. I just let her do whatever she wanted to do. But she's the one that bossing me around, telling me what to do. But
It's weird how that
dynamic
changes,
and the transition was good, and she did a good job running the business. And I don't have to interfere. If she's not doing well, believe me, I'll step on her.
Yeah. I believe that. Okay, so before we get to the end of the podcast, I want to talk about National Spam Musubi Day.
Yes.
And we're going to cut this clip for social media so we can promote it and get everybody some free Spam Musubi. So bring your best A game right now.
Okay.
Right? So tell us about it and tell us where people can get the Spam Musubis.
Okay, so I'll go try to look at the camera.
Yeah. Don't look
So
at me.
National Spam Musubi Day is on August 8th. Again, this is our third year of celebrating it. And we created the holiday because we love Spam Musubi and our customers love Spam Musubi. So the big thing about National Spam Musubi Day is we give away free Spam Musubi. And the way to get it is if you have our L&L app, you download the app. And then on August 8th, you'll get your coupon for free Spam Musubi. And you can go into one of our participating stores and get it. We do a couple of other fun things, though. We have an annual shirt. So this year we have 7 sketches. This is not the shirt. We're getting it tomorrow. Otherwise, I would bring them for you. But 7 sketches, local artist. He designed the shirt for us this year. It's a really fun shirt. But you can get that merchandise from us. And so it's just really fun, whether we hope you come to L&L, but if you're just making Spam Musubi at home, if you're introducing someone to a Spam Musubi, it's a day to celebrate this food that we all love from Hawaii. And we just want the world to know more and more about it.
Yeah. 808.
808.
Well, let me tell you why our Spam Musubi tastes so good, okay? Again, if you can go to 7-Eleven, it's sitting in the fridge. When you order a Spam Musubi, we wrap it with steaming rice, and we'll cook the
Tastes
Spam
better
right
made
there,
fresh.
and with a special sauce, wrap around it. Man, I'm telling you, it's ono. It really tastes good. It's a big difference when you have it make to order instead of sitting there for 2-3 days.
And if you don't believe them, just go to your nearest L&L and try one for yourself on 808.
You got the app on 808. On Spam Musubi Day, you got it for free.
Yeah. You have nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
Yeah, but maybe some.
We want you to spread that aloha
know.
to the rest of the Americans.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you, people are starting to eat Spam Musubi everywhere now. I'm telling you, I cannot believe to see a white American eating Spam Musubi, chewing it, two at one time. And that's the way to spread aloha
From
Hawaii.
Yeah.
Your food.
Awesome. So go check that out. Spam Musubi Day at L&L, all L&L locations.
Most of our locations.
Most of
yeah.
it. Okay. in Hawaii or outside?
Both. So
Both,
Hawaii
okay.
and the mainland, but it's for the locations that have the app that have the free
Okay.
Spam Musubi. You can go to our website. We'll tell you which locations. But other stores, even if they don't have the app, they might have a special price or special promotion for Spam Musubi.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I know you guys brought some for us to eat later. So
Yes.
I'm really excited. It's not going to be as warm and as fresh as you said, but I'm sure it's going to be still ono.
It'll still be
Right?
good.
Okay.
Cook to order.
All right. So what are your future goals for L&L? Where do you go from here? And how do you see it growing in the next 5, 10, 20 years?
So we have 220 locations right now. My goal is for us I made this goal last year, and last year was 10 years, so we had 9 more years to go. But to get to 500 stores. I think that would be such a tremendous thing for, again, we're so lucky that we got to 220. And as we get to these new places like Texas, Colorado, Georgia, there's this huge demand. And the fact that we have these competitors that are also coming in and selling plate lunch, like clearly customer is interested in this food. Every day we still have people who are telling us, they loved being getting a plate lunch. And so our goal is to get to 500 stores. And then from there, we'll take a pause and see, again, the family piece is super important to us. And as the organization grows, it's harder to keep that feel. So kind of would want to do a gut check at that point to make sure we still are living by our core values.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then once you get to that point, you can go global. Instead of the state
Yes,
of Georgia,
we
you
can
can go to
go
the country of Georgia.
Georgia.
Yeah, and instead of having Chad as a general manager,
We'll
you go
be
to the
in Chad.
country of Chad. That's success right there.
That would be awesome.
All right, so I don't know if you remember, but I asked you to prepare a life hack before you came here. Did you come prepared with a life hack?
So he still doesn't understand what is a life hack. So I am doing a life hack on behalf of both
Okay,
of
nice.
us.
All right, that's fair. Okay.
Okay,
totally cool.
and actually, it came from him, so
Okay,
it truly
okay,
is.
so it
from
works
both of us.
out.
Yeah, so it's kind of a business tip, but it's something my parents always taught me, and it's the phrase: "If you don't ask, you don't get."
No, that was for me.
No, my mom said it. Whatever. Okay,
Because she heard it
one
from
or
me.
both of my parents said, "If you don't ask, you don't get."
Mm.
And I think it can apply to, I think it's so powerful, but it's such a small thing. But anything as small as again, it's very pocket, right? So I go to the restaurant, I ask, you get discount, and sometimes you get discount, small thing. But for people, especially for women, I think if you ask for the promotion, ask for a raise if you think you deserve it. I think people are afraid to, but you're probably not going to get it if you don't ask. And I think if you deserve something or you're curious about something, just ask, and you never know. I feel like a lot of I received a lot of great advice from different people in my life, but it's because I asked them if I can have lunch with them, if I can have coffee with them, and I wasn't afraid of that person's too high up to meet with me. I think, and so for all parts of life, I think if you don't ask, you don't get, and I think that's such a great mission to live by in your life. Yeah,
For sure. Thank you. That's a great life hack.
yeah, and I learned it from him
From me.
or my
Nice.
mom.
Me.
Yeah, I mean, totally. That rings true in so many, facets in life, whether that's business, relationship, just getting something that you want in life. If
Yeah.
you don't ask, I totally just, seen that in the last couple of years, even with sponsorships. It's like,
Yes.
oh man, I got to pay Jordan over there.
Yeah.
How do I keep him? I guess I got to ask for sponsorships. And for me, I hate asking for money. It's just, I wish I could just hire somebody to just do all the financial things. So I had to get comfortable with that and hey, you wanna give us some money for this podcast? And I don't know how much to charge or whatever, but then it gets easier
Yes.
as you do it. So it's
Yeah.
just really just taking that first step and asking.
Yeah, and
And
if
then
you
after
have
that,
something
it's
that you
easy.
believe in
Yeah.
and that you feel confident in, even if you're not confident in asking, but you feel
Yeah.
confident in yourself and what you're asking
Yeah.
for, I think that goes a long way.
Yeah.
And it shows the initiative
Yeah.
for people who you're making the ask of.
For sure. And I think it also comes down to believing in what yourself
Yes,
and
yes.
making sure you know
Yeah.
your worth and like you said, what you deserve.
Yes.
Because this is a lot of work. A lot of things that we do in life takes a lot of work, and only you know how much work it takes. So you know what you need to receive to make that worth it.
Yes. Yeah.
So-
and other person might not. They just might not know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, you just got to show that.
Yes.
But yeah, great life hack.
Yeah.
Mahalo.
I'll still try to explain to him later on what
Yeah.
it's all like.
Yeah. There's some more tangible ones that you can show us.
We
all.
were Googling
Yeah.
a lot of life hacks in the office. Yeah, it was kind of fun.
Yeah. I love life hacks. All right. So this is my last fast Fave 5 questions, and we'll get you out of here with a couple minutes to spare. All right. So these are just rapid fire answers. Okay.
Oh, man.
And I guess we'll go one answer each. So this is a total of 10 questions. 5 questions, 10 answers.
Okay.
Okay. Favorite food place, not L&L.
Oh, my gosh. Rapid fire. I like eating at home. Actually, my wife has good meals. Yeah, she cooks well.
J Dynasty.
Oh, okay. Jay
I want to give a plug for L&L. We'll eat there almost
you
3-4
gave me a
times a
good
week.
business answer. You didn't
Yeah.
promote any other restaurant.
Yeah. No
Okay.
place but L&L.
Yeah. Only L&L. Favorite travel destination?
Japan.
Canada.
Oh, nice. So there's already L&L in Japan. We need one in Canada.
You gotta go to Vancouver, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. I went earlier in the year to snowboard. That's why I was in Canada.
So Banff specifically is my favorite place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We went to Whistler.
Okay. Yeah. Beautiful.
That was fun. Okay. Favorite hobby?
Oh man. So before
Sleeping.
that's true. Before my son was born, I was really into Lego building.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
I got sucked in.
You ever did like the Gundam wings or like the model sets that you would
Yes.
have to build? Like
Yeah.
that too?
Yes.
Yeah. My brother got into that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Okay. Favorite childhood snack?
Favorite what?
Childhood snack.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's true, but I'm gonna say Spam Musubi.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't remember. I never have anything to eat.
I was a starving kid in
Watermelon.
Macau. I think we didn't have watermelon because you sold it all.
Sold it all.
You really don't know.
The fried donut, the Chinese fried donut. I eat that a lot.
Okay. Is that different than like a
Yeah.
malasada? Or
Yeah,
what-
not,
fried
it's a
dough.
little
It's not
different. They don't
sweet.
have it here.
Yeah.
Chinese
It's like
fried
fried dough.
Yeah,
Kind of.
fried dough. yeah.
Okay. I gotta look that up.
Yeah.
Okay, and last one, favorite movie.
Oh my gosh. I don't think it's my favorite movie still yet, but when I used to watch a lot of movies, it was Zoolander.
Oh, nice. They had a sequel. I don't know if
They
you've ever seen
did.
that.
Yeah.
I watch The Heat of the Night quite often with Sidney Poitier. That's a good movie.
Okay, I never heard of that. Heat of the Night.
Yeah, Heat of the Night.
Okay,
Is
I
that
gotta
Heat?
look it
Is
up.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
it's
Okay.
a good movie.
After tonight, I'm gonna go watch a movie because Tuesday we record on Tuesdays. Woo! Behind the scenes look at our life. They got cheap movies on Tuesdays at the
Really?
theaters.
Oh.
At Ward, Consolidated and Regal, and they got a new one called Oppenheimer. It's by Christopher
Oppenheimer, yeah.
Oppenheimer.
That one goes
that
on sale
tonight?
too?
I think it's already
Oh.
released.
Do
If
they
not,
have
then I'm
cheap
gonna watch the
popcorn,
Barbie
too?
movie.
Yeah. Both should be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oppenheimer
but-
should be good.
I think
Apparently, I
Oppenheimer's
heard
okay.
that's like
Yeah.
the one of
Christopher
the
Nolan
best,
movies
yeah,
are
one
really
of the
good.
best movies of
Yeah.
the year.
Yeah.
So
Should be a good
yeah,
movie.
$6 movie.
Oh, Gettysburg. That's one of my favorite too.
What is it called?
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Okay.
He's into historical movies.
Okay, so maybe the Oppenheimer is gonna be really interesting. too.
I like history.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know history in and out.
Yeah, he would prefer Oppenheimer over Barbie movies.
Okay,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Bobby would be my last choice.
Hey, don't knock it until you see it.
Who's Bobby anyway?
I used to. So when I was a kid growing up, my sisters would have my little sister would have Barbies, and in the tub, I would rip the heads off. I don't know why I was.
Every boy, I think, rips the heads
I
off.
don't know why, but I'm happy that didn't continue on into my adulthood.
We are
and
all
I'm-
happy that
I'm
you
not.
did that.
I'm not somebody who rips heads off because that could be really scary seeing your kid doing that growing up. So I'm sorry, Mom, but I'd like to think I'm an okay kid. But mahalo so much for coming on and talking stories, sharing all the awesome stories and the beautiful, amazing things that L&L has been doing for 76, 30.
Over 45 years.
Thank you.
Yeah.
45 years. So I'm excited to see where you go from here. And I don't want to say it's just the start, but I know you still have a lot of things planned for the future.
Yeah.
I hope that anytime I go on a vacation and I'm missing home, I can find an L&L anywhere in the world.
That's our
Look
goal.
at our website, HawaiianBBQ.com.
There you go. Is there
HawaiianBBQ.com.
is there anything you want to share before
No,
we
I just
wrap
want
up?
to say thank you very much, Kamaka.
Yeah, of course.
It's a pleasure. And thank you again for the local people who always been supportive of L&L.
For sure.
Yeah, I think, thank you so much for having us. I think this is the first time I've done a podcast or anything like this with my dad. So that was a fun experience.
Yeah, it was fun. I
Um,
love seeing the dynamic.
Yeah, but thank you for letting us share our story and for sharing L&L and National Spam Musubi Day.
For
And,
sure.
and we just love, we're lucky to be where we are with our company. And again, it's to everyone who supported us. So thank you.
Yeah, of course. Where can we find you on social media, or like you already dropped
It's
the...
not on social media.
HawaiiBBQ.com.
There we go.
You will find me there.
And then, but I know L&L has an Instagram, right?
L&L has an Instagram,
We got a
L&L
Facebook,
Hawaiian
we got
BBQ.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, you can find us. Probably Instagram is where we're most active.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you're not a secret influencer, so we don't have to...
I am absolutely not a secret
Okay,
influencer.
so you don't got to promote your IG.
No.
Okay, all right. Well, mahalo to Eddie and Elisia for joining us on the Keep It Aloha podcast. Spread love, be kind to one another, and mahalo for listening to us today. We have new episodes every Thursday, so make sure you follow us and leave a review. I'm your host, Kamaka, and remember to always keep it aloha.